everybody. I am Hannah Kogan, and I'm going to do a little sitting Ortho-Bionomy Self-Care. A lot of you are probably all sitting a lot more right now, possibly working from home or just stuck at home, and so you're not maybe moving around as much, and so sometimes sitting posture can get really uncomfortable. So just take a moment, if you're going to join in with me, sit at the edge of a chair so that you're not leaning against the back or anything, and you can be right up on top of your sits bones. And just sit there for a minute, close your eyes, and just check into how you're feeling. Notice where there might be tension, whether you feel like you have to have a lot of effort to sit kind of upright, all of those little details, what's holding you up, where you feel the soreness. And then we're going to introduce a little bit of movement. So we're going to start with just a little pelvic tilt, kind of rolling back and forward, making it big so that you can see it, but it can be small. If you have pain or tension in one of those directions, just keep it smaller. And as you roll back and forth, you're trying not to specifically do the chest, even though that follows. You're trying to specifically shift the pelvis and see how that feels to your pelvis, to your low back. And so oftentimes we have a preference in one of those directions. I can roll forward and it might feel nice and easy. Rolling back maybe feels stiff or tight, or vice versa. So you're gonna go with the position that you like better. Right now I'm liking forward. So you're gonna hang in the position you like better. Should be comfortable. If it's not comfortable, make a little modification to make it more comfortable. You might take a deep breath. You might get bored. These are all indicators that you're done here. So it's usually no more than 20 seconds. So in the next few seconds or so, we're gonna all be shifting if you haven't already. Once you're ready to shift back the opposite way that you had gone, and then rock back and forth a few more times and see if you feel any more ease in the direction that wasn't so easy before. So if the pelvis was caught back or forward, this can help rebalance that. And then oftentimes too, we have a twist happening at our pelvis. So we're gonna work with that with our, if it's comfortable, put your hands on your knees. If not, they can be up on your thighs. You're gonna push one knee forward, the other automatically comes back, and then switch. And oftentimes one just physically goes farther. You can look at it with your eyes and see, or it just feels nicer. It might be like, oh, that's just easier on this hip or easier on the low back here, one of those things. So as always, we're gonna go with comfort. So I like left forward, I'm gonna go with that. You go with what you like. We're gonna just hang out here. The way this works best is if you're super comfortable in this position. So if you're like, left forward's good, and I also like to slouch, or I also like to lean forward. Any of those little details are fine, because you want to, again, stay with your comfort zone. And that is how your proprioceptors actually tell your body, oh, I'm a little twisted, and you can rebalance yourself. So it's probably enough time. We're going to shift back, and you're going to do this little wiggle, just kind of like easy does it in the middle, and then recheck. And now my knees actually look more even. They each go about the same amount each direction, as opposed to before when the left was more going farther forward. So then we're gonna come up more into thoracic spine. It's kind of nice to do this with your hands kind of out of the way so you're not using your shoulders to help you twist, and we're gonna do a little rotation. So you're just gonna turn a little bit from the mid-back one way and the other. And if you're not using your arms and shoulders to twist you, it's actually a pretty tiny movement. So oftentimes we have a natural stopping place in our body, and a lot of times it's different. So when I go to the right, I actually get stuck pretty quickly by the right kind of low rib cage in the back. Left, I can go quite a bit further. So you're gonna go with what is going further, or again, is more comfortable. You're gonna hang out there. Again, I could modify, I could say, what makes this even more comfortable? Okay, if I just kind of drop my chest forward a little bit, that's nicer. Not necessarily for you, you're just following your own body here. When your body starts to rebound, you're gonna take a little bow and then turn back to center. So you're gonna take a little bow, let the hands rest, and then come back to center. I like to kind of just shake around, shift around, and readjust, and then we're gonna recheck. So you're gonna check again the way that went well, and now the way that didn't go so well, and I can go a lot more now to my right, which was pretty stuck before. Sometimes you only have a minor improvement, but that to me is actually still pretty significant because something just changed. So finally, we're gonna come up to head and neck. So we're gonna see, now we're gonna also check rotation. We're gonna say, how do I feel going left? How do I feel going right? I have a lot more comfort going left. When I go to the right, it gets kind of tight. So I'm gonna hang out here to the left again. Just kind of relax into it a little bit. And then this one, we're gonna do a little isometric to come out of. So if you're turning to the left, take your right hand to the side of your face. If you're turning to the right, take your left hand. Very gently with your hand, apply a touch of resistance, so that you have to kind of push against your hand ever so gently to turn yourself back to the middle. It's just a little more resistance in the air, but not much. You're gonna let yourself turn all the way back to the middle, then you're gonna let your hand come down, kind of again, do a little wiggle around, readjust, and now recheck. Here's my good direction, and now the right is much less tension going back to the right. So that's the very simplified version. We could do all kinds of other things on how to work with the spine and sitting, but that at least gets a little bit of pelvis, a little bit of middle and upper spine, and a little bit of neck. So now we're just gonna close our eyes, check back in, see where you feel. Are you still sitting the same on your sits bones? Are you still the same on top with your head, your chest, your shoulders? I feel more vertical and less tension, which is really nice. Hopefully you're having some version of a similar experience. So thank you all for joining in with me.